Still a lot of sellers there that need to get chipped away. Nice little bounce. Morning traders, man. Today was a emotional roller coaster if there ever was one. I started the day pretty happy. I passed my German driver's license theory test, which made me feel like a fifth grader again, or like a student, because I had to, study for this exam forever. I mean, I'm 29 years old. I have my my US driver's license forever, 15 years now. But if I need to transfer it, I got to do the test. So that's what I was studying for. I passed the test this morning. I was pretty stoked. Then, unfortunately, when I started trading, I was actually in the flow too. I was doing everything right. I was up at like 560, and then boom, boom, boom. I just had some nasty wipeouts. I mean, look at this P&L today. This is probably one of the worst I've had since memory. My profit margin here at 5%. I made 1,800 and I gave back 1,700. My risk reward wasn't great. It was pretty bad actually. Winning ratio is actually fine, but I didn't really take any big winners. And I just had a lot of losers. It was a frustrating day. It was crazy. And look at this. This is probably one of my choppiest P&Ls. I was up, here we go, at like 560, yeah, 580 even. Gave that pretty much all back in like a few trades. Went red, went back up to 250. It was crazy. I was on some trades, I was sizing. I was doing like 10K here and there, but I only traded 3 tickers, and the fact that I only traded 3 tickers and I'm only up $90. I mean, the fact that I'm not red is a blessing, obviously, because I was all over the place today. I was top ticking. I was cutting my losses at the perfect lows before 15% rally in like 2 minutes. I was all over the place. I think some of the trades we're gonna review today are really gonna highlight that. And before we do wrap up, I will show you guys the surroundings I have around me, because I have an amazing view. I'm lucky enough to stay at my friend's place here in South Germany while I was doing the test, and I'll be going back tomorrow night back to Berlin, and it's just really beautiful view and a great place to work, so I'm pretty stoked, and the Wi-Fi is great. Plus, they're great too, so it's just been an all-around win situation. So let's start with these tickers. They're crazy. SMMT, I mean, what do we got here? This ticker has just been selling off ever since the open, and it's depressing because this was our best opportunity before the market opened, and it's never good when your best opportunity dies off like this one did. And I was doing all right here. I pretty much nailed this whole entire move right here. But I didn't size up that much. My biggest trade was like, 2,000 shares? And the reason for that is the volume wasn't that much. So at this point, I'm up like, I don't even know, like 400 or so, maybe 500. And I was thinking, well, maybe I should, calm down a little bit. I am kind of overly excited right now. I traded a little bit more here, and then I think in like this trade right here, I gave back like 30 or 40% of my profits. And I was like, that was so silly. So then I, basically took a break in this area. I just went and took like a 30-minute nap. But I should have done that sooner, because before this, or before, I think it was like either before or right after this trade, I did something that was really, really silly. And I'll show you guys that in a second. But before we switch over, I just want to do one last view on SVRE. I mean, this ticker just didn't give us those opportunities anymore. And at the market open, it died off. And it was just sad because it never really had that volume that you really, really wanted to trade this ticker. And, it broke some huge resistance here in this area. And I don't know why my charts are so crazy looking, but broke some huge resistance in this area. So I was thinking, all right, like let's get going. Huge relative volume, so I had high hopes for it. And when it died off, it kind of threw me off, because that was really the one I was focused on. But I think my big mistake was SMMT. So we'll talk about this one first. Eventually SMMT pops up, and I'm like, all right, let's go. It looks like SVRE is done, so let me just go ahead and trade this one. And this is where I just make a plethora of mistakes. I missed the first big rally here. I mean, from the low to the top, it was like a 50% move. Really, really nice with, again, kind of light volume. I do a kind of a scratch trade here, make like 50 bucks or so, and then I really edge into this trade. I think, actually, yeah, I close out. So I buy here when it pulls back, but then it ends up flushing all the way down. It pops up a little bit and I cut my losses, and just like that, I'm down like 300 or 400 on SMMT. And I was like, well, that sucks. And then, there's this thing where you never really want to go back on a ticker that you're not doing well on. I mean, I only did a few trades on this ticker, so I figured, well, let me try a little bit more. But oftentimes when I'm red on a ticker, I think I just mumbled a lot, I should usually not keep trading that ticker. I often just get more red on that ticker. I want to trade the tickers I'm green on because there's a bit of a flow. So with SMMT, again, I missed this really nice breakout here. I do with a little bit of size, but I ultimately missed my entry and I was very frustrated. I go for the pullback and I do like a small scalp trade here, make some profits, go for this pullback, looking for that, move, because I thought this was an extended pullback, and whack, I get stuck in this full flush here. Luckily not with big size, but that puts me down 700 on SMMT, and I was already down only like 300 at the time I already gave back on SVRE at the time. So after that loss, that's what you guys saw here. That was the that was basically here, I think. And then it just kind of gets a little bit worse. And at this point, I'm like, man, I was up like 580. I was over my daily goal, which is only 500 right now because it's summertime, so it's half of what my usual daily goal is. And I'm like, man, I really messed up today. I didn't even stop trading when I went below my daily goal, which I should have done. So I broke a lot of rules today. I would have been up 300 and saved a lot of time. That's why I have these rules, and sometimes I break them, and then I learn right away again why I have the rules. It's never like I break a rule and it's like, oh yeah, like, ha, stupid rule. It's always like I break a rule and I'm like, well, another reminder. So then GRFX pops up. Where is this? GRFX, and well, this one already popped up a little bit here. I traded it pre-market. This is actually the first ticker I traded, but it failed, and and then I was like, okay, well, it's done. It does pop back up, and again, this is a recent IPO. So recent IPOs have been great. We were talking about this one pre-market. We were like, oh, it doesn't have any volume, but then we were like, oh wait, this is an IPO. These tickers have been flying recently. I mean, we're still running off that high from, what was that ticker? GCT. This was the one that a lot of people were excited about, and it's still pumping like crazy. Let's actually just go to a GCT. I think today even had a little spike, yeah. So this ticker went from a low of 12.51 all the way to 62, recent IPO. So GRFX, recent IPO, from 2 to 4.5. So everyone's looking at this ticker, and I think there still might be some trade potential on it. So I got really excited about trading this one in this area, and it actually made some decent money. I was up like 600 here. I didn't have any good trades, still like fumbling. Oh my god, if you guys watch my recap, my trading recording today, you guys are gonna laugh. I do probably my worst trading ever. Like, I was top ticking, and then I was selling, and then I was messing up with my hotkeys. Like, it's almost like I forgot how to trade again today. It was crazy. And then here I had my worst trade potentially of the year. I put my head down like this after this trade. I was so upset. I basically I was like, okay, this is gonna be a great 1 minute pullback. We just had a huge 5 minute breakout. Let's go for it. That's what I did. I went for it right here, and then I cut my losses right here, like somewhere in this area, with the intent to rebuy if it like dips a little bit lower. It doesn't. Starts having momentum. I trip over myself like 1,000 times with my hotkeys. It's all the way up this area. I finally buy it like almost at the perfect high. Look at this. I buy it like 442, and I just close it. I'm like, so I'm just chasing it this whole way up, and I was like, what just happened? I end up taking like a $300 loser here just to have this one rip 12% in front of my eyes. I would have been over 1,000 easy on this trade. I had the right idea, horrible execution, and then I think I gave back even more profits here in this area. And then I was like, my oh my. So I basically 10 o'clock comes along, and I do this horrific trading, and then I'm just kind of chilling here and thinking, okay, well, it's forming like somewhat of a something right here. It looks like a little bit of a maybe flat top, ascending triangle here. So I was looking for maybe a little breakout. I actually have a great entry here. I end up stopping out right before it pops up 5% again, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't trade anymore today. I am doing horrendous trading today, and that's basically right in this area where I just start giving back profits again, and I'm like, wow, like I should be red today, but I'm not, and I'm still like, it's a scratch day, but it's a slightly green slash scratch day. So let me just end it here before I do something silly. I mean, last week was really bad for me. It was slightly red after like a really good start to August, so I don't want to fumble. I should have just took my 580 profits today. I knew I should have walked away, but for some reason I didn't. It sucks walking away like after 30 minutes of trading, because you're like, oh, I got the whole entire, like, I haven't, the open is 2 hours away, like we have so much time. But at the same time, think about it like this: like, you go to work, you get your full paycheck, and then they're like, we don't need you. Like, why would you stay around? And that's basically what happened today. So I messed up. Obviously, I don't want to stop near highs. I want to keep trading if I'm, in the flow. But once I go below my highs, I need to maintain, I need to not give back profits. And that's basically what I did today. So if I go above my daily goal, great. I want to keep trading. I don't want to just stop trading. But what happened was I went below my daily goal, and that's when I should have pulled the plug. I was like 380 or so. So I should have pulled the plug there, followed my rules. When I give back below my daily goal, that's when I need to plug it. And today would have saved me a lot of time, emotion, stress, profits. So it's a really good goal to have, and it saves me a lot. Yeah. So if you guys are wondering where I am in South Germany right now, and I'll show you guys the video now of, I guess, the view we got. So I traveled light this time. I didn't bring my additional 2 travel monitors that are vertical, but I just said, you know what, 2 days, I'll just make it quick, travel light. Look at this. Got this view though, so I guess I should have stopped trading earlier today so I could have done some more exploring. But this morning I took the e-bike and I was doing some of the trails right behind this house, so that was pretty fun. I think tomorrow, if I end the day early, it won't be bad.